We're doing good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for spending the time with us today. Are you are you born and raised in Dripping?
So I was born in Austin, lived there till I was about 6, and then my family moved out to Johnson City.
Oh, okay. So did you graduate from
Johnson City?
Oh, okay. So how do you guys know each other?
Match.com.
Yeah.
No, football. We met through football, through our kids.
But they're on a different football team.
No, when our kids were little, we were on the Hill Country Cowboys.
Okay.
And all of my it was the Hill Country Cowboys, and we all became close because we were kind of the outcast of. And then she was everybody's little sister, so she kind of ran around and kind of did as she pleased around the field. So yeah, all the boys kind of took care of her.
Okay.
And she's just the cutest little thing, the cutest little blonde, just the cutest little thing ever.
And you just graduated?
I graduated in 2023.
Oh, okay. Oh, how old are you?
I look like I'm 12, but I am about to turn 21.
Oh, I thought you told me she was 18.
Well, no, okay. Well, you just don't listen to you.
Well, that is true. Yeah. What have you been doing since you graduated?
So I have been taking classes at community college, about 2 at a time, and I have been going steady and strong. I got an A this last semester.
All right.
Even though I only took one class, it's still an A.
Yeah. What subject?
Communications.
All right. Oh, that's a good one for the future.
So I want to step all the way back to when you are in kindergarten, preschool, right around the time when, gosh, you were a little bit older than that, but when I started really hanging out with you guys, and you started having some real kind of unusual symptoms.
Yes. So, let's say I went to a friend's birthday party. There would be a bounce house, like most kids would have. And I would just be bouncing on it, having the best time of my life. And when I would come off, I ran to my mom yelling, "My wrist and my foot hurts." That was my word for my ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I just would start crying and bawling, and I would just have to leave immediately after that. Or let's say I was playing Just Dance with my brother. That evening, I would be great, but the next morning, I would be in so much pain I could hardly get out of bed.
And so did that take you on a series of just doctors after doctors, and they were trying to figure out what was going on?
So we started off with my pediatrician, and she kept giving me x-rays and just random tests. Everything always came back normal.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a very good friend who's an orthopedic surgeon, and he said, "Bring her to me. I will point you in the right direction to go to." And my mom, thinking I would just walk out of there with a cute little pink cast on my foot or something, he sent me to my current doctor, Rui Carrasco. And he is a rheumatologist, yes.
And from the he was a pediatric rheumatologist, right?
Yes.
And you have seen him this entire time, and he's kind of a miracle worker. And what I don't think people understand unless you have a child that's kind of going on this kind of health journey, is there really aren't a lot of specialists, or there weren't 20 years ago.
No.
In whatever this field is. And so there was a couple of doctors at Dell Children's. One wasn't great, and one was great.
Yes.
And if you went to the one that wasn't great, you were kind of faking, and there's nothing wrong with you unless you were like on the extreme end. And then Dr. Carrasco kind of looked at you and was like, so he did extended testing. Did he do like an ANA test or things like that when you were younger?
He did so much testing, and I used to call him the vampire.
Drew so much blood.
Yes, and soon, recently, when I was 10, I found out that he's deathly afraid of needles. He would walk out whenever anyone was getting poked.
Oh my gosh.
And I love to bother him about this. Because he is like that one family member that you just have to bother.
That's funny.
That's great. I think, when you were at the beginning of this, and still going through all of the blood testing and all of the x-rays and the imagings and stuff, how long did it take for them to actually get a diagnosis of juvenile arthritis?
I'm going to say on the first or second visit, he said, yeah, this is definitely arthritis.
And how old were you then?
I was about to turn 6.
Oh my gosh.
I was diagnosed, I'm going to say, in August maybe, or right around November, and my birthday is in September.
Okay. But at 6 years old, you had no idea what that meant. You just knew something wasn't right.
I just knew I was a little different, and that was fine with me.
Yeah.
At what age did you have your first surgery to have a joint replaced? Because the juvenile arthritis that you had is very severe, extreme.
So when we talk about surgeries, people view this in so many different ways. They think of, some people consider like going under anesthesia at any time a surgery. And that isn't exactly what I assume as a surgery. A surgery is where they go in for a deep procedure and you're under for over 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the first time I had a real surgery was 12. I broke off part of my femur, like a quarter-sized chunk, and I have no idea how I did this. Still don't.
How did so you weren't jumping off the couch, or
Nope.
you just woke up one morning and it hurt?
So the way I found this out is I was messing with my knee, and I did something to my kneecap, and another kneecap appeared.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm kind of like, Mom, come look at this. This is not right.
It must have hurt terribly.
I didn't notice a thing. So it was just there. It was kind of just like a wart, I'm going to say.
Mm.
It didn't hurt. It just was uncomfortable. So we went to one doctor, and he said, oh, it's just something.
Calcium deposit.
A calcium
yeah.
deposit.
Oh.
So just massage it, and it'll go away. We did that, and it didn't do anything. So we went to get a second opinion, and this doctor's like, no, this is not a calcium deposit. It is most certainly not. I probably will need to go to have surgery. You'll have to have surgery to go in and look at it and fix it up. And this is my surgeon, who now I adore, Dr. Sargent. And
I mean, your mom is like pretty much, you and your mother are pretty much the experts on the surgeon arena in the Austin area, the Austin and San Antonio and surrounding areas.
I've got so many friends that'll call me and say, okay, I need a specialist for this.
Yeah.
Who do you go to?
Yeah, that she's pretty good at that. So, total, what you consider surgery, right? How many surgeries total to date have you had?
okay, so I had 3 major knee surgeries. That was part of the whole knee issue. And I have had my jaw replaced.
With some kind of medical implants
Titanium implants,
Oh
yes.
my gosh. And you showed us the scars before we started, but that must have been a painful recovery.
So the first 2 weeks were by far the worst. That was
Yeah.
kind of when I was contemplating, why did I even do this to begin with? But once that 2-week mark hit, I was so much better. I would be eating whatever I want and just gladly talking
Yeah.
again.
So before you had the surgery, you were having a hard time eating and even talking? So you didn't have a choice. You had to have the surgery.
I needed it, yes.
Yeah.
And the surgeon said I should have gotten it done 6 months prior because there was no cartilage left.
Oh my gosh.
So was it inflammation also in your
Yes.
jaw?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. What do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions that people think about juvenile arthritis that they don't understand?
Well, first off, it is a much more aggressive than it is. You need to treat it more aggressively than you do with your elders,
Okay.
because your body, it's growing so rapidly, and you want to attack this as hard as you can to make it stop before it reaches this level of pain that you can no longer do anything.
Is that with steroids or just like constant, like Plaquenil, or are there like just a myriad of medications that you have to be on consistently for the rest of your life?
Well, I have a friend who has been on prednisone for 5 years now.
Oh my gosh.
And that destroys like your liver too. So it's like you're
Yes.
playing this Russian roulette, right?
You're juggling. Okay, I take the prednisone. It's gonna cause these issues, but the alternative is I don't have a zero quality of life.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. But so when you said treatment, there's no cure for it.
No.
The treatment is to delay the progression. Is that right?
Yes.
So what's the future look like?
Well, for each person, it's very different. Some people can get it under control with, I'm going to say, the first or second drug they try. For me, I have gone through almost every drug that's available.
Oh gosh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am now on adult drugs, and that even is starting to not work. I had to get off of it for about 6 months for my jaw surgery, and when I got back on it, it's not working as well as it did before.
That is infuriating and frustrating. I guess, are you in like, what are they called, trials? Do you ever get involved, now that you're an adult, can you participate in those trials?
I would love to, but I haven't been able to yet.
NIH.
Oh, but I am in a study at the NIH, and I have been before. When I was younger, I was in a study for ankylosing spondylitis, where they would look at my spine and see if this helped or this helped. And that was the main thing that they focused on. I wanted them to look at other joints too, but they were like, no, the spine is where we really want to look at.
That does juvenile arthritis, I had this question we were talking in the monologue earlier, does juvenile arthritis turn into rheumatoid arthritis, or do you always have juvenile arthritis, even if you're 30, 40 years old? You always have that?
Yes. So once you're diagnosed as a juvenile, it is just considered you have juvenile arthritis.
So it's like type 1 diabetes almost, right? Because that's a
Yes.
juvenile diabetic, and then, okay.
But it doesn't turn into regular arthritis the older you get. This disease manifests itself the same way you're experiencing it now as you age.
Yes.
Yeah. Patton, how are you keeping, you have a great attitude about all this. I know a lot of people that, they pull a muscle in their shoulder or something, they're like, oh, yeah, and they complain, but you have a great attitude about this. How are you keeping that great attitude?
So one of my favorite mottos that I always say is, it can always get worse.
Isn't that the truth? I think we just found our show title.
Right? It can always get worse, for sure.
That is one of my favorite mottos that I just came up with on the fly one day, and I'm like, you know what, this really sucks, but you know what, it could always get worse. There could be a major hurricane going on in the same town.
Yeah.
I am glad that I only have this, and this is my major issue, instead of having 4 or 5 of the same things that are just so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I had, because I know your family personally. I know your mother, and she's an amazing, wonderful person. And the journey that she has been on also with you, this has altered not only your life, but her life, and the majority of her adult life as well. But now that you're an adult, have you taken more control over your health journey, and kind of like, or are you more as
Patton and Mom
dependent
Patton
on?
and Jill are looking at each other like, I think this has been a topic of conversation.
So
I'm sure there's binders that Jill had, and with tabs, and yeah.
So I am about the same as that. I'm very codependent on her. Let me just say that. I could not survive without her. She is the main one who fills my meds, who calls the doctors, who schedules the appointments, and talks to insurance even. And I am so glad that I have someone to do that for me. But I know that I should be doing it as well.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, I should probably be doing that, but I really don't want to.
But that's part of adulting, is realizing, okay, now I've got to take this responsibility. Jill's going to be 2 big thumbs up. Ah! Yeah, and I know as a parent, sometimes it's a very hard thing for us to do, but when you have to kind of force your kids sometimes, because it is easy to just stay in the comfort zone.
But then also, as in Jill's defense, as a mom's defense, I can say, she has been all along on this journey,
Sure.
and
No,
so
yeah.
she knows the ins and outs. And not that you were like a bystander, because obviously this was
No.
all happening to you, but there were conversations that were happening and decisions that were being made that you weren't necessarily, you were a part of, but the
I had
decisions
no
were
idea
being
what was
made.
going on.
Yeah.
They were just talking in different languages that I didn't understand.
Yeah, and as you get to be an adult, you can't do that. You know?
No, and I do my best to interject in all these conversations that are being had about my health, and I try to lead the way of how I want to have my treatment going.
Mm.
Be an advocate for yourself, per se.
Very
now.
much, yes.
Do you think your disease makes you appreciate some of the things in life that others take for granted?
Oh, very much.
Give us an example of that.
So, like, all my friends are off at college, and I would love to go off to college, but physically I am not there. If I were to have a flare-up or just having a little accident and something happened to me, no one would be there for me. And most of my friends from high school are off at college doing something, making friends at college, and I feel like I'm getting left behind half the time.
You said that you hang around mainly with older women in the quilting circle, I'm sure.
Yes. Some of my favorite people are just little old ladies who love to
Yeah,
gossip.
some of my favorite people are little old ladies like
Yeah,
Michelle.
well, there you go. Yeah. Isn't that nice of him? We talked about revenge earlier in the show.
Yes.
We're going to have to circle back on that one.
Probably have some poison in my,
That's
my
true.
iced tea later.
For sure. Well, I want to go back to what you were saying about your mom, and I want you, in your own words, to describe your mom and what you think that this journey has been like for her. We've talked a lot about you and what your journey is, but what do you think? You know, you're almost 21 years of age. You're not quite living on your own yet, and that will happen. But, you know, as a young mom of 2 young kids, she's exploring this journey. What was your experience now that you come a point in your life as a child where you not only look at your mom as your mom, but you look at her as she's a woman.
Yes.
And she's a girl also, and she has feelings and life experiences. So explain what you think this journey has been like for Mom.
Well, I know first off, when I was first diagnosed, her expectations of my life were completely rocked. Like, I know that she wanted me to play volleyball. I know that she wanted me to be super, like, into sports and athletic. And I would have, too. I would have loved to play basketball if I physically could. But at the same time, that would just be so hard to do. And I grew up watching my brother at all his sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get so infuriated that he just could do all this stuff. And I know that she could see that fury on me. But at the same time, I'm looking at her and I'm like, what's another way that I could prove myself to her and my dad? And so, like, I'm going to say art would be like my way of saying,
Yeah.
thank you. Like, this is my way of putting myself out there and doing my sport.
Is your creative side. So you've kind of taken this journey. Oh yeah.
I wanted to show some of the artwork that you've
Let's
done.
see, hold on,
Yeah,
let's-
this is some cards you brought us. These are beautiful.
Do it a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you can see
And
it.
the design on the back. Yeah, you mentioned in your bio that you started painting again after high school because of your brother. What was that about?
So my brother's, I guess it was his 26th birthday, came up. And I'm like, I refuse to spend money on you. I love you, but I just don't want to. So I'm like, you know what? I will make you something. So I texted his wife. I'm like, pick out one of these 3 pictures. And she picked out the blue lobster. So I painted him a blue lobster because at the moment they lived in Boston.
Uh-huh.
So I painted that for him, and he's like, oh, this is amazing. I love this, Patton. Like, this is so good. You could sell this on magnets and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's amazing.
Well, you were doing things also in the state fair circuit, right?
Yes.
So what were you doing in that?
That was in high school?
So in high school, and I was a little bit in middle school. I did 4-H, specifically the exhibit hall. I just could not show animals. That would not be my thing.
Yeah. It's too dangerous. Yeah.
Well, I did rabbits one year, and I just didn't like putting up with the rabbits. They just were animals, fairly to say.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed...
by the way, I'm very disappointed that you did not bring your dog with you. I thought you were going to bring your dog.
Oh, no.
Whatever.
No.
Continue with the animal story.
So I love to create, and so I would just start filling out the paperwork. As I'm filling it out for exhibit hall, I'm like, oh, in this category I could do a dog quilt, or like do this. And I did it for almost every category and everything, and I did my best to,
So you participated in every category? You tried to do something in every category?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
So like one year I did a beaded Christmas tree, and I specifically made this in the goal of giving it to my grandmother, because she made one for my parents and my other grandma, and she never made one for herself. And I put this in my little essay that I had to write for everything I entered, and they were so touched by it, I won that category.
Oh,
that's cool.
And so I tried to have one like show-stopping project in each category.
That's cool. Have you associated yourself with the Dripping Springs Art League?
No, I have not.
Have you heard about that?
No, not really.
We have some of our friends, Steve and Jennifer Friedman, they run that. They put that together. I think you should reach out to them.
That's a great idea,
because
Steve.
they support local artists, and you're obviously a great local artist, and they have all these events and things and
classes, and they support each other within that.
You could get together with other artists and learn their techniques, and they could learn from you. I think that would be something you would really enjoy.
That's really cool. I like that.
Patton, what's a typical day look like for you? How do you know, like when you wake up in the morning, do you know what kind of day it's going to be, or do you, as far as pain or how you feel?
So no matter what, I try to make myself get out of bed, at least at some point in the day, whether it is to eat, just walk around the house, or do something. I try to make myself get out of bed, because if I don't, I know I will spiral into a depression.
Your mom said that your nickname in the family was Sleeping Beauty.
Aww.
And it was probably because of just the pain and the...
Oh, I love to sleep. If I could sleep all day, all night. Like, I can sleep for hours on end and still...
Do you think that some of that is the medications you're on?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the disease causes fatigue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. But if you have some great days. What kind of day are you having today?
Today is not a bad day. It's a little drizzly outside, so I'm a little stiff. The weather really affects me.
Huh.
Like, whenever we had that huge snowstorm that one year, I could not move. I could not get off a couch.
Really?
I was stuck under my blanket with my teddy bear. I hated it.
So when summer comes and it's warm and
I love it so much.
That's better for you than the
Yes.
cold, drizzly months. Wow.
Patton, we talk a lot about the physical aspect of this disease. What about the emotional aspect of it? The emotional toll that it takes on you? You're talking about your friends that are off in college and stuff. And so how do you pull yourself out of that?
Well, so at an early age, I had to overcome FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And that was mainly because all my friends were off playing sports in middle school, and I couldn't. I wanted to be a part of like those inside jokes that happened in the locker room, or just random things that would happen, but I couldn't. So I did my best to just tune that out. I focused on myself and focused on whatever I like to do at the moment. And at the moment, I was really trying to invest in my art. And I had an amazing art teacher in high school and middle school, Miss Hudson. She is still there, and she is an amazing woman. And she noticed that I was having a hard time, too. And so she's like, what if you started doing vase?
What is it?
Vase, Visual Scholastic Art Event.
Oh. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what, I'll give that a shot. Yeah, let's do that. So every day during class, I would work on my project and just pour my heart and soul into it. And at the end of the year, we would go off to wherever, and all the kids that were in phase competed. And it's comparable to like band UIL, where you would get like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I got a silver seal maybe on my one in 8th grade. And I was so proud of myself for that. I was happier than I had ever been before.
That's a
great.
blessing that you had a
Yeah.
teacher that helped guide you, that
Yeah.
kind of saw where you
Yeah.
you were struggling.
Patton, what are some of your biggest dreams for your life?
That's a hard question to answer. I see myself venturing off into doing multiple different things. I would love to go explore the world, just see everything that there is to see. I would love to have a family and just grow old with an amazing, loving spouse. There's so many things that I want to do. I would love to have an art gallery and just enjoy my life as I grow old.
Yeah. Have you, this is a personal question, have you been dating?
I haven't even had my first kiss yet.
Oh. So,
ValidIntegrityTeam@gmail.com.
yeah. Well, you're very sweet. But I imagine it's with, like, if I can say, you're some kind of IV situation here.
So currently I am hooked up to my IV infusion. It's just IV liquids that are going in.
Yeah, so it's not like you can on a Friday night say, Mom, I'm going to go out with some friends. It's very difficult to do that.
Well, I try to plan like a couple of days ahead, just seeing what I would be like or what is all happening in my life. Like, I really want to go to the Peach Jamboree this year. And texted my friend last night. I'm like, hey, would you be willing to go to the Jamboree with me? And she's like, yeah, totally, if I'm not working. And I'm like, great, if you can, I'll bring my handicap placard and we'll get good parking.
Right in the front.
Right in the front row.
Is that in Fredericksburg? Is it?
It's right outside of Fredericksburg.
Okay, yeah. Are you going to go? Or
I'm going to try my best.
You got to go. You'll have so much fun.
We talked about also earlier how you're an ambassador with the Arthritis Foundation and Make-A-Wish. And I know that Make-A-Wish blessed your family with a trip.
Yes.
And can you talk about that and what that meant to you?
So, first off, I despised Make-A-Wish at the beginning of my whole...
Well, yeah, because it puts like almost a target. Like, oh, look at the poor kid.
The poor kid that's going to die soon, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I'm like, really? They're just doing this for the kids that are about to die and blah, blah, blah. Or the kids that just have cancer. And I hated that so much. Until my amazing brother signed me up for a Make-A-Wish, and I got it.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait, I could actually get one?
And y'all went to Hawaii, right?
Yes. Okay. So we were supposed to have it, I guess, right around like this 2020 at some point. And obviously...
I forgot about that. Yes, it was during COVID.
And it got canceled. Like, I was the first one that they canceled.
Oh, no.
I know.
Canceled or postponed?
Postponed.
Okay, good. Okay, so you didn't get a chance to go. Okay.
So they postponed it, and I guess in 2021, like late 2021, like December, we went on our trip, and everyone had an amazing time. Like, this was one of the first family trips that no one was going to kill each other.
That's a rarity. Yeah, for all families.
It really is.
It's a rarity in our office. That's a daily thing in our office that we fight against.
Yes. So, like, while we went on a submarine tour, I went on a turtle tour, like, all around the island. And for my parents, for that year for Christmas, we didn't get any presents. Instead, they extended the trip a week.
Wow.
And we stayed on a different part of the island.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was amazing. And so half the trip was just go. Tour after tour after just random stuff going and going. And then the other half, we just chilled, laid out on the beach. My brother went and had surfing lessons. I just enjoyed being on the beach, enjoying soaking up the sun.
The sun, yeah.
What about the organization itself, though? Like while you were there, and how they kind of really catered to your needs? And
It was amazing. So first off, all my doctors were very anxious about me going.
yeah, I could see. I bet Dr. Crosscoat wasn't real thrilled that you guys were going.
They wanted her to go.
They just didn't know how I would be feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
She
so
had lots of procedures to get her ready to
Okay.
be able to enjoy.
Okay.
Like before she had her back ablations done, she wasn't going to be able to make a plane ride because she couldn't sit up, much less for
Okay.
as many hours as that plane ride is.
So lots of preparation in order to go.
very much. So like Make-A-Wish itself, I love the organization, and I made one of my best friends through the organization.
Now you love the
Yeah.
organization.
Yes. Yes. And, like, I made one of my best friends through the organization. And we met at a gala, and we had so much fun. And I just got back from her house, actually. I spent time with her and celebrated her grandpa's 80th birthday
Aw.
together.
What does it mean for you, though, as being an ambassador? Do you mentor other kids that have your same condition, or are you just a general mentor for trip ideas and whatnot?
Honestly, I just do as they ask. If they want me, I will never speak badly about Make-A-Wish again.
Yeah.
But I will just talk to kids and say, yeah, this was my experience and I loved it. Or, like, I love admiring different wish ideas. Like, there was one girl who wanted to have a Morphe palette made for her.
Makeup.
Like,
Yeah, Morphe. Oh, wow, like a personalized.
Yes.
Okay, so Steve,
Yes, please
what
explain.
that is there is a palette, whether eyeshadow or blush or whatever it
was
is.
all eyeshadow.
It's
and
Morphe's a brand,
Okay.
like Revlon,
and so the
L'Oreal.
palette this is what looks
The
good on your
the
skin?
eyeshadow, like you'll
Okay.
have the lights and the darks and whatever color. So she probably had
okay.
it tailored towards her. That is, and Morphe did that?
yes, and
That's
whenever
really
she
cool.
got her wish, they flew out an influencer to do that with her, and
Oh,
like
wow.
had the whole photo shoot, and she just got all dolled up, and I thought that was the coolest wish. And like there are some very odd wishes. Like there's one kid, I was talking to my friend's sister who works at Make-A-Wish, who wanted to see all the Smithsonian's at DC,
Oh, wow.
and I'm like, that must be one fun kid.
Well, maybe you could go work for Make-A-Wish too. Maybe
Yeah.
there's something in the
Some job
nonprofit sector,
opportunity.
that you
Yeah.
could go bless with the knowledge that you've
Yeah.
learned. I could even see you also talking to you were talking about you're going to a camp this weekend, and right, that's this weekend.
What'd you call it? Arthritis
The
camp.
arthritis camp, but I could also see you talking to a panel of parents
Oh,
that are going through it.
very
too.
much, because parents, I feel like they lower their expectations for the kids.
Oh, that's wow.
Well, like for me, my mom never once told me you can't do this chore.
Mm.
She's like, get your butt up and you can unload the dishwasher yourself.
You can hook the IV up next to the dishwasher.
That's
You
the
can do
best
it.
thing for you, though. That otherwise you get sequestered. You'll be lonely. You'll sort of draw into yourself, and you won't have the life that you dream of having.
Yes. So just try to. I want anyone, like with a kid who has a disability, to treat their kid as normal as they can. Of course, they have their limitations. They need to take a break every once in a while. But like yesterday, I did all my laundry by myself. I loaded it, unloaded it, switched the loads. I mean,
That's an accomplishment, though.
Yeah.
it is. And I'm fine with doing it. And that's something I learned growing up. Just this is something you have to do. If you want to be a productive member of society, you have to do this.
Your mom and dad have high expectations for you.
I think for our listeners that the lesson there is some of us in our lives are like, I gotta do my own damn laundry, and you're looking like that as an accomplishment. So that was my next question was, do you sometimes realize that people watch you and look up to you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Honestly, no, I don't.
They do. Some people look at you and say, she's struggling with all these things, and she's still sitting there smiling and trying and pushing ahead.
And
that's a great thing for you to show other people.
100%, because like the things that you were going through, like what Steve said, I couldn't find a parking spot, or I have a hangnail, or whatever it is.
We get stuck in our own heads about the smallest little insignificant things, and you push through something that most of us don't even pay any attention to, and that's a big accomplishment for you. And people that see your struggles say, man, Patton, look at that, she's still smiling after all that stuff she's going through. That's very powerful.
Well, I've learned to fake it till you make it, or just pretend, and then you will slowly get there. And if I just fake smiling, then it's fine. I will slowly get there. And if it puts a smile on other people's faces, that's even better. Because most of the time I am in pain, I'm not going to lie. Like right now, I'm on from a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 3 to 4.
Oh.
I was going to ask about that pain scale for you, where it's so subjective, right? To
Yes.
certain people and what they've gone through. So, but your 3 or 4, quite honestly, is probably an 8 or a 9 for
Yes.
Steve and I, right? Like I just got chills just saying that. Like
it's probably true. Yeah.
what you experience on an every single day basis. And I know that when we were sitting there talking about at the beginning, before we even got on air, it's like, what do you want to talk about? Like where are we going with this interview? But so much of your life has been GA, right? But that's not all who you are. That's not all who defines you. And now you're becoming this beautiful, amazing young woman. And like what Steve says, you have so much to give back that are people that you've already been on this journey, right?
Yes.
And you really are a hero to a lot of people, to even people that aren't even on this journey.
And I just try to live my life the best I can. I know that it's a lot different from mine to other people's, but I just try to put myself into the most normal shoes I can.
Me too.
As weird as that sounds, like I want to be able to go to the grocery store and not ride the motorized scooter.
Yeah.
Or like if
I want to go to the grocery store and ride the motorized scooter.
See, it's all perspective.
Yes, or like if I am using a wheelchair, I want to be able to push it by myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a pusher.
Yeah. Patton, who is talking about you being a hero and a model? Who are your role models and heroes?
We're going to stop just for a quick second, but we're going to keep because if we stop our
Are we all
video,
right?
yep, we're good. She will go right.
Oh, yeah.
She will go right back.
Sorry, this is normal.
That's okay. And then that way he can play back.
Yeah, I'll play back my question, and then you hear it, and then I'll hit record.
Okay.
Do you want to start now, or should we wait? We should wait.
We'll just wait for her.
Okay.
We
Are you having fun?
I am,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. I'm looking at
Even though we're
some of
live, but we're still going to keep it.
Some of the
I wish there was a way on YouTube to pause, but you know what? I bet you can go in and edit it, right? Can you go in and cut that out like we did that last time
what's that?
on YouTube? Can you cut that audio out?
It's very difficult. Now I just hit processing on something. Patton, would you say something, please?
Okay, what do you want me to say?
I'm trying a different setting here, and I think that sounds better. So,
Okay.
the people that are watching YouTube right now get to see how the magic is made.
That's so much fun,
Yeah.
you know?
There you go. You could start your own YouTube channel.
Yeah, Patton, maybe you want to come work for us and you can run this board.
Yeah.
For sure. It has definitely been a journey of lessons for both Steve and I trying to figure all of this out. And then sometimes if you watch some of our past YouTube videos, it's easy, like especially if I'm introducing, I push the button and then I'll have it on Steve and I, and then sometimes I forget to immediately put it on the guest. So for about 2 minutes, you'll see just Steve and I talking and the guest talking, but it's multitask. Multitasking.
There's a lot of multitasking for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I am a horrible multitasker.
There's
no such thing as multitasking. That's it, yeah. We're still recording on YouTube, so.
There you go. Yep.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, I'll put this right there.
Okay. I'm going to play the question, then I'm going to pause because I need to reset this. So, but I'm just going to play the question so you remember what I asked you. Patton, who is talking about you being a hero and a model? Who are your role models and heroes? Okay, are you ready?
I hope so. I think so.
Do you remember the question?
Oh yeah, I remember it.
Okay, he's gonna do like.
I'm gonna point to you
at
and you can start
when
talking.
Okay.
Ready?
Honestly, I just think I don't have a specific role model. I look at aspects of different people and admire them. Like, for instance, I have many friends who are just so athletic and they just keep going and going and going. I love that aspect about them. Or I have friends, people who are just very much artistically talented and just enjoy art, just like me. And I adore those things about them. I can't just name one person. There are multiple aspects of different people. Like, for instance, I love my grandmothers because they're just so supportive and so heartwarming. Like, one of my grandmas is my best friend. I could easily move in with her.
Is that right?
Yes.
Jill said that your stuff's packed. Mom says stuff's packed already.
Yes.
I have kind of a very, it could be a difficult question for you to answer, but I feel like it's important for you to answer this. Have you ever felt cheated out of life having
very much. Very much. But I also look at it as, what would I be if I didn't have this? Because I very softly remember, like, me being such a brat at 3 years old, demanding to have pink shin guards and pink socks and pink bows and this specific hairstyle. I needed this. And ever since diagnosis, I have relaxed so much on, like, what I need and what I want to do specifically. And I can only imagine what I would be like if I didn't have this diagnosis.
Well, it's definitely a part of who you are now, and your entire family's life was affected by this, but it doesn't define you specifically.
No.
You aren't necessarily the face of juvenile arthritis across the world. You are still Patton Taylor, you know?
am, yes.
And there's so many qualities about you that don't revolve around juvenile arthritis. One of the other questions I had for you is, what kind of advice do you have for somebody that is just starting out on this journey, a young adult?
Don't look at what you're missing out on. Look at what you could be learning from it. Because I'm going to say at late elementary and early middle school, I was looking at life as what I was missing out on. I was missing out on all my friends and all those inside jokes and lost quality time with my friends. But when I look at it again, I am seeing I got over FOMO, I got more independent, I am comfortable being by myself. There are so many things that I gained from that just few years that I would still be missing if I didn't.
Yeah. That's not just a lesson for somebody that's being diagnosed with your disease. That's a lesson for everybody. You don't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you do have. I think that's real important. So now you're pouring your heart and soul into this art, and you have a website on Shopify.
Yes.
So tell us about that. What are the plans? Because I think some of our listeners may want to get some of this lovely art from you. So tell us about that.
So my website is called Little P Designs. My nickname in my family is P.
Okay.
Just because Patton P. and I am by far the smallest out of my family. Both my parents are 6 foot, and then my brother's 6'8".
Yeah. I love this little. Is that a hedgehog?
So I had a pet hedgehog once upon a time, and I loved that thing so much. But she sadly passed away, and I, like, for a long time, I called myself a hedgeholic.
There's support groups for that.
Yes. And so my dad's like, this is the perfect thing for you. This will be great.
That's pretty funny.
That
okay,
is-
so
I want to find out.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to order, so how do they? What's your Shopify? How do they find that?
So on my Instagram, you can find me on Instagram at Little P Designs Co. on Instagram, or I think you can Google Little P Designs Co. and find it.
Okay, all right, and then they can order these lovely cards from you.
please,
Yes.
everybody go on there
Did you
and
show
order
your
some.
sun?
Oh wait, I didn't
sunset?
show.
Those are
wait,
awesome. I
let's see.
really like those.
Look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
there. Da-da-da.
And
There
so
you
for
go.
our favorite clients that are listening right now, if you get one of those, we really like you. And if
Okay.
you don't, I don't know.
It's not the end of the world.
You get the stormtrooper.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You get the stormtrooper. So, Steve, do you have any? I have some rapid fire.
Go ahead.
You have,
Hit your rapid fires.
Okay, so if you could remove one pain from your body, just one of them right now, which one would it be?
Oh, ankles, immediately.
Really?
Yes. My ankles are like the weakest joint in my body. Like, I will easily just slip and twist my ankle out of nowhere.
Oh.
And if only, like, they were just a bit stronger and a bit more, I'm going to say, less weak,
Yeah.
I would be so happy. Like,
Do you have plates in them?
no.
You don't?
But I know a friend who their ankles fused.
Will you eventually have to get plates, do you think?
Maybe.
Or fuse.
Yeah.
When you came in and I shook your hand, does that hurt when somebody shakes your hand too hard?
It depends on how hard they are. Like, if they want to break my hand, of course, it'll hurt. But if, like, you're doing just a normal hard shake, I'm fine.
Yeah. I just think that's important for people to know when they interact with you, that some of the things that anybody else doesn't have any problem with might bother you.
You don't
Yeah.
shake hands real hard either.
Shut up.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be? I just spit in the microphone because I was laughing.
Oh, definitely to be able to turn invisible.
Oh, me too. That would be fun.
I would have gotten out of so much trouble if I had that when I was younger, just sneaking my phone.
Right? I'd go rob a bank. Oh, sorry, South Star.
Not South Star.
That's right. Okay.
I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do that. For sure. Okay, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
No, it's a serious question. It's a serious question. Okay. What has been the best piece of advice so far that you've been given?
Okay, this is going to sound so bad, but I have horrible memory and I cannot remember any advice anyone has given me. I think the best advice I can remember is just enjoy the moment.
Oh, that's wonderful advice.
Because you never know when it will be better or worse.
There you go.
That's
No,
really
that's
big.
that's
Do you do any
great.
journaling? Do you ever write down like how you're? I think it's important because you might have had a really good day, and then you wake up one day and you go, "I'm sick of feeling this way." But if you look back on your journal and you go, "Wow, 3 days ago, I had a really
You know
good
what?
day."
We gave her in her gift bag
There's
a
journal
a
in
journal
there.
in
Have
there.
you ever done any journaling?
So I tried to do it when I was in middle school, and it was not successful.
That's more teenage angst. Like, mom wouldn't let me go to the
Yeah.
movies or something. But
Yeah.
like now, it's like you have adult feelings, bigger feelings, bigger things, and
And I am open to trying it again. It's just so weird. Just
what about writing a book or like audio? Because your story, believe it or not, is
Yeah.
very fascinating in the journey that you've been on today.
And the lessons that you've learned in your life can help everybody else. Not even just people going through the disease, but everybody else.
Well, so I have always just imagined like me writing a book or something like that, but I'm like, who really wants to listen to about a little cripple girl?
That's not what you are, though.
Like, so if you were talking about me going to this camp this weekend, I have a bunch of friends from this camp, and we have a group chat.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will never guess the name of this group chat.
You probably have a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, very
Yeah,
much.
I could see.
So what's the name?
The Crypt Crew.
The Crypt Crew. Okay. Well, there is something to be said about making laughing at the things that are really hard in our life.
And I do my best to make a joke out of anything that comes my way.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I have been hospitalized 2 different times because I was so severely constipated. It was a very crappy time.
That on that note, that's how we end the podcast.
Oh, that's so great.
That is the best.
I want to encourage you,
That
Pat.
is the best.
The lessons you've learned. I don't think of yourself as just somebody sort of stumbling through life. You are doing something great getting through this disease, and you're helping other people that are dealing with it, but also helping their family, which I think is even harder because when you have siblings, especially when they're younger, they don't understand how hard it is for you, and they just treat you like the younger sister or the older sister that's struggling, and they're mean to you. And so teaching those lessons to other people is really valuable.
Well, also, I remember how my brother acted when I was first diagnosed. He was so jealous that I was always getting this attention. And people were asking, like, why are they always asking about Patton? They never ask about me.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know what? It's the journey that you're on, and I think now Drew's married, and he's an amazing adult on his own. But Mom and Dad, Jill and Trey, have done an amazing job raising both of you guys, and you are an extraordinary young woman, like I've said earlier. And I think that this isn't status quo. You're just going to continue to surprise us and just keep going on and on and on, and things are getting better and better in your life. And I look forward to hearing about your first kiss.
We'll do a whole episode.
Yeah, we'll do a whole episode. We'll update our listeners.
Patton, I really enjoyed this time with you. You're an amazing young lady, and I think you're going to do great things in your life, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to help people that are struggling with not only the disease that you have, but other things in life. And I just encourage you to go out and do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
for
so
coming
much for
on.
joining us.
thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this so much.
Well,
Thank
good. That's our goal right there. All right, we're out.
Oh, that
Are
was
you out on that?
and